Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Easter and welcome back to Formula Racing TV. I hope you enjoyed this Sunday Easter with whatever you eat, whatever you spend time with, whatever programs you watch alongside your dears, because right now it's time to start another chapter of this incredible story called the Super Sprint Sunday with more news, more twist, more drama than ever. We're back for another season, number 22 of this incredible series. That although it's not the crown jewel like the Taco Tuesday, it will be fierce, competitive, and fought until the end. We're live from the Circuit of the Americas, Austin. I'm Andrea Matavelli, aka F1 GT Fisichella. I'll be in the commentary box for the commentary of today's race in Tier 2 for the Super Sprint Sunday. As you know, the Tier 2 is full of AM drivers only. So it's not the creme de la creme like it is in Tier 1, where we see pro and silver drivers compete for the overall victory. In that you will have my fellow buddy Jack Prentice doing the commentary there, still in YouTube on Formula Racing League TV channel. But here we have all the good reasons to start watching even the Tier 2 category, because it will be super competitive. My fellow pal Gordon Brown, which I give a big round of applause, a wave high to him, will be really competitive. He said 10 drivers are capable to win races here. Of course, we all know the drill. It will be qualifying, then race 1, 25 minutes, then a little break with a warm-up section of free practice 2, and then race 2 with reverse grid of 45 minutes. No pit stop required, no strategy, only pure action, overtakes and battle on the track. And of course, as we saw first day for the first round of the BMW, the multi-class event with GT2 and BMW M2, the first stage is set to the iconic scene of the Circuit of the Americas of Austin, Texas, the most impressive, the most well-known modern American track, built in 2012 with the first United States Grand Prix Formula 1 since 2007 at Indianapolis. 5.5 kilometers or 3.4 miles of assets, up and downs, straights, brakes, and all sorts of things that you want to know at your favorite tracks. 5.5 kilometers or 3.4 miles, 20 corners on the Grand Prix circuit. And of course, we're here to have a lot of fun. And I hope you will be there to join us when the action will start. Of course, I want to say thank you to Gordon Brown, who put his trust in me not only to commentate the Taco Tuesday. You will still find me there this Tuesday when the old Taco series will re-begin with another season. Then, of course, there will be also many more things to come in the next month, in the next weeks, for this incredible series. Of course, before start, we have to do a big thanks, of course, to our sponsor, which of course they are our Patreon supporters, because this will be possible without you. So really thank you. Still support us on our Patreon page. That's what allows us to give you this racing spectacle, this racing show, and allows me and fellow avid commentators to bring you live from those servers. And of course, another really good news is that every single race of the season will be named after one of those fellow supporters. Of course, for example, race 1 will be named by Nico Vellman, while race 2 will be brought by Chris Gedman. So these are the two names for what will come in today's two races at Austin. Of course, a big thank you also to Ashley Gunning, who gave an enormous donation to Formula Racing League. So, big thank you for your support. And, of course, thank you to Gordon, to Alan Palmer, to everyone here behind the scene, organizing and delivering the spectacle for all of you sim racers and motorsport fans. Really thank you, and I hope I will be more than qualified, more than the right place to commentate this fantastic series. Even if it's only tier 2, but let's be assured we won't get annoyed at all. Just watch. So let's start with the we're telling about the free practice session who came to the end just now. Steve in the Aston Martin set the fastest lap with 2 minutes 7.4 in the Aston Martin. Harris second in the McLaren. Third, an advantage of Warrior. And now the big moment. It's qualifying time. A one-shot qualifying indeed, because it's only 10 minutes. But the drivers will be required to do one push lap, so only one lap to determine the order of the racing grid for race 1 at today's event. Zbazniak is the first to come out from the pits, so we'll see some drivers try to do the lap now immediately, and others who will wait until the last moment to try to have the track in the best conditions possible. But of course, for this driver, the human factor is still essential. One small mistake and you could find yourself trading at the back of the grid. So, no mistakes there. And these drivers know it. Of course, if you want to look for the championship, probably the name to watch is here. Michael van der Waal, the favorite, according to many in the paddock. It's a favorite to take that championship in Tier 2. But of course, there are a lot of other contenders in this Tier 2 championship, the Sprint Sunday Championship. One of them, Jordan Marshall, who this time seemingly, here it is, just exited the pit lane in the Mercedes. Jordan Marshall, one of the contenders as well, and also one of the most experts on the grid. But we're talking about expert, none of it is expert as Chris Goodman, FRL admin, on his typical Porsche 911. Who's now trying to warm up the tires as he exiting to the pit lane for this flying lap. And now he sees out lap, then it will be time to push like a man. So of course then we have also Joachim Verev, another contender, which will try his best to make himself a really strong name for the championship. Of course, there are also more outsiders who with experience might be able to overcome the odds and try to insert himself into the title. One of which is Daza Townsend in his pink McLaren. Of course, then we have also Ashley Gunning. Let's see if we can find him on the track, if he's there today or not. I think not. Today is not with us. Then we have Defias. So these last two are not there today, seems. But rest assured, it is the Super Sprint Sunday, and of course, there's still the rule about one round being deleted from scoring the worst races. So, and of course, we have 2 races in program at each virtual weekend. So there will be plenty of opportunities for our drivers to try to claim their glory in this exciting series. Let's see if we have someone saluting us. Waving hello. For now, we have only 4 spectators, which I am one of them. And of course, we are only at the beginning, hoping that more of you will join along the way, alongside the drivers who will certainly recover the stream after the race ended, either tonight or tomorrow at the morning with breakfast. So it will be real funny to see even your reaction, even your feedback for this fantastic series. Now we're back with Sebastian, Ferrari driver number 8, who will be the first to complete his only flying lap on the session. Last corner, and he puts a 2 minute 11.9, not very fast. Hunter goes quickest, and Coppens improved that 2 minutes 8.6 by Coppens. Johnson in third in the Porsche. Now, let's see, Silva is fourth, 9 tenths away from Coppens' fastest time to date. Maggio now is in turn 17 and 18, the long right-hander. Let's see, Dunn goes third, quickest in the BMW. Davids put us for the 7th fastest. Let's see Marshall, one of the top contenders in the paddock, the FRL paddock. Let's see if he can put it on top. Only 4 fastest for the Mercedes driver, 4 tenths away from Coppens' time. Let's see now. I don't know what happened with Van der Waal. I don't see him. Don't know if he made a mistake or not. Let's see Townsend in the pink McLaren 720S Evo. And Harris in the McLaren goes fastest, 2 minutes 8.0. So all eyes are now on Townsend to see if he can put his McLaren ahead of his teammate with the walking machinery. Remember, Townsend is one of the outsiders for the championship. Of course, there are many others who could still be the one to watch for this season, including Gedman. So Veref, let's see, Townsend, he maybe begins now his fastest lap. So Veref, I think he is already underway now. Or not, no, he's still warming his tires, so it is his out lap. Greaves in Mercedes seems to concluding his out lap, his flying lap. Let's see where he puts his AMG compared to Hunter, who is the 3rd place for now, with 6 tenths behind Harris. Greg Greaves launches now. I'll admit it's not easy to follow everyone out there. Probably someone will fall under the trap of the track limits. Easy to take, especially in the S section. Now turn 16, Veref goes real inside, taking the curb. Not an ideal trajectory for me at least, but let's see. Oh, when it goes really wide, he takes it wide. Let's see if he can carry the speed and try to make the most of it. Now he slows down, turn 19, and now we're turn 12, the last corner. Veref, let's see. And he starts his lap now. So now Townsend, ooh, look, he's going very, very near the curbs. real aggressive driving by the McLaren driver. Townsend try to make the most of it as Waste puts his Ferrari in 7th place behind Marshall and Johnson. Let's see Townsend at the finish line. He put it in 5th place ahead of Marshall, but for now Harris seems unbeatable, unreachable by most of these drivers. It seems like most of these drivers have blown their attempts, so they will start it at the back of the grid. Not much to say. Let's see if Veref can somehow challenge Harris' domination. We see now the Ferrari driver at the braking zone of the 1.2 kilometer straight. And that's the checker flag as Warrior in the Aston Martin put his vantage second fastest, only 1.5 tenths behind Harris, who for now resists at the top of the standing, while Steve, alongside many others, did not manage to complete a clean lap, so we'll start behind. Let's see if Veref can manage to make a clean lap, and if he can manage to place his Ferrari at the top of the grid for race 1, brought to you by Nico Veldam. Let's see. We have Jochen Veref on the straight, P6. 6th time for Verret, who is just ahead of Townsend and Marshall, behind Dan in the BMW. Now the only one left here will be Bennett and Van der Waal. Van der Waal, the favorite, is doing now, apparently, is a flying lap. He waited until the last moment in his orange Ferrari. Let's see if the Dutchman can put his Ferrari in the front row. It's going quick, Let's see how quick it will go. And it's only 11. Disappointed for Van der Waal. And that's the end of the qualifying section, with Harris on pole position with a 2 minutes 8.0. Fantastic stuff by the McLaren driver. Harris on top, ahead of Warrior, Coppens, Hunt, Dan, Verret, Townsend, Marshall, Johnson, and West rounding up the top 10 ahead of Van der Waal. And look how many did not manage to complete a single lap. Greaves, Feist, Steve Cahill, Haggerty, Kelleher, O'Leary, Blanche, Battistone, Barnett, Lemon, and Chris Gedman on the very back of the grid. Of course, not the cleanest of the one-shot qualifying, but he already delivered big surprises on the racing grid for race 1, the Nico 25-minute sprint. So rest assured, it will be a great show to watch in a few minutes when the drivers will be put on the starting grid, and they will adjust the machine to the start of the race. So a little break, and then we will go for the start of the first race of the Super Sprint Sunday Season 22. Welcome back. Super Sprint Sunday, round 1, Cota, the 25 minute, the Veldman, Nico, 25 minutes sprint race is coming right up in very shortly for the race that will kick off the new season of Formula 1 Racing League action on Assetto Corsa Competizione console. We started Thursday with the multi-class event GT2 and M2CS Racing action. Now we're here back on the GT3, back on our territory for what promises to be a very exciting rating, a very, very exciting race, and will be plenty to watch. Also to our drivers who rest assured will be there to fighting until the end for victories and for the championship. Of course, one of the few surprises, I must say, it was Owen Harris in the McLaren taking pole position for the first race ahead of I must search Warrior. It is Warrior in second place. I'm not saying the name because we risk being banned, of course. Then it's Coppens in third place in the Ferrari. Hunt fourth, Dan second, then Verrett, Townsend, Marshall, Johnson, and Wester into the top 10. Really.
20 seconds.
This is really incredible to watch. We've agreed so stacked up of ability, speed, and experience. It should be a funny season with twists, victories, stories to be untold, and we'll be here to tell you on the way. Blation Bennett will start on the pit lane. It will be difficult to them to start well. Now the drivers, we have a little to prepare because we're just ahead of the final corner. So in a track that is not very well, we have not very much grip, the drivers will start the season. Race 1, the Nico 25-minute sprint for the opening round of the Super Sprint Sunday here at the Cota of Austin, Texas. We're waiting for the green flag of our race marshal down there, which will be way to give the go. Now, when the season 22 starts with Harris having a rocket ship start, it is McLaren, but look on the side of the corner one with the BMW done trying to make progress, and the Ferrari of Coppens going wide. Let's see, Coppens gets up in the second place. A poor start seems for Warrior, who have lost a couple of places. Then we'll see a lot of these drivers trying to fight their way through the SS, seemingly. Oh, I thought someone was okay, but I think one sped. Oh, there were some crash in the back. We see who were the unlucky ones, but Harris did everything he could perfectly, and is in the lead with exemplary start, ahead of Coppens, ahead of Dan, then Johnson, then Warrior, then the others. Look, Coppens and Dan already fighting for second place, and Johnson trying to insert himself into the talking. Look, oh, there's some contact even. Oh, and someone made set spinning, and it is, I think, I don't know who it is, maybe there's Aston Martin's team. It is the Aston Martin's team who, in turn number seemingly 9, yeah, the 11, sorry, it was sent spinning after a contact from behind. Look at Dan into corner number 12 has gone ahead of Coppens, but there was a contact, and now Johnson said, thank you very much, I'll take second place for you, and he got up in the Ferrari, the BMW, still fighting. Dan gave the place back to Coppens, and that takes advantage to Johnson, who's now trying to keep the place of Harris, who's now trying to go into the distance, but of course, so far, all in the place of Owen Harris, who is leading after the first lap of the 25 minutes Nico Veldman sprint. Harris first, Johnson second, Coppens third, Dan fourth, Warrior fifth, Marshall sixth, then Verf, Townsend, Van der Waal, who managed to recover a couple of places too, and is now up in P9. And then Silva already up the top 10. And look, the action doesn't stop there. Look at this. Seemingly like Marshall and Berger fighting. Marshall defending himself from the attack of the Ferrari, but there's a terrible vlog, maybe the SS will lose a couple of time. Let's see if Jochen Verget can manage to take advantage. Oh, but he almost lost it. He lost it. Verget lost it. Townsend, thank you very much. He takes a 7th place. That's a portrait for Verget. He enjoys the track, but he's down into P11 behind Waite ahead of Davis Mustang. That's why you never underestimate the action, especially in Cota, where conditions are not clear as they suggest to be, because the track is not has not very much grip, and of course with the risk of rain, these tend to influence all the remainder of racing weekend. Dan is now behind Coppens. Look at this now. Van der Waal is Silva trying on this side. And there's contact with Van der Waal being taken out almost by Silva, who now has to stop to regain the position back. But Van der Waal lost 2 places to Western Verf. And look at Davis and Fies fighting for the place. And Fies got ahead of the Ford Mustang. And now Greaves trying to take the opportunity as well with Davis. We are in very much difficulty. His Mercedes is most stable in the corners, but the Ford has the real raw power of his engine. Let's see who will get there in the corner number 11. Look at Greaves on the outside. He takes the place from Davis. He's up, I think it must be P12, if not P11 after what happened. But lot of action. That's what we like to see. That's what Super Sprint Sunday is all about. And we see Graves P12, Davis P13, then Hogarty, Ganman, who's managing to do a comeback so good that we now have to cheer him. So Cota Hogarty. Things are getting naughty there. We get trying to find Haggerty for P14. We got a little behind to join them. And look at Haggerty with a great defense, holding the place on the crease. While the Warriors make a mistake and he's gone out. He's gone out in the SS, the Aston Martin driver. And it's gone with quite some damage, I think. Meanwhile, the top 4 are flying off into the distance. So Owen Harris still leading, but look at Johnson. Look at Johnson trying to fight back, trying to recover the gap between him and the McLaren driver up front. Johnson only half a second behind the leading car as we now approach the first sector, 7/10 now. But of course, we see if Johnson will try to make an attack, while look at Don and Coppens. They are not finished for 3rd place. Coppens also with the fastest lap of the race so far. And look at Harris go a little bit wide, corner number 16. So that will penalize him certainly in turn 17 and 18. As we see Johnson try to make up some ground to recover. But of course, Harris seemingly holding up a piece of an advantage. This is all that matters for now. And look at Johnson. He was set for the fastest lap of the race, but now he has been overtaken by Dan, who's now 4th, and is still trying to make himself more and more bigger in Coppens Ferrari mirrors. Meanwhile, back with Van der Waal, trying with the dive bomb, turn 1 on Fies in his side, but Fies holds it and keeps 8th place. While behind him, look at Greaves and Davis, with Greaves holding up the Ford driver to maintain the P11. Great action here. Let's see, also far back, we have something to show with Gedman making a great overtake on Khalid to get up to P16. The Porsche driver, Germander, has started penultimate, so P29. And look at the damage on Kruger. Aston Martin, look at that, with the front already back conditions from him. This is not looking good for the Aston Martin driver. But Gedman will surely try to make himself room well behind it. Cardi has made a moment there out the exit at turn 11. Let's see if Silva can do something in the Verstappen.com Ferrari. Let's see Silva on the outside for turn 12. Looking outside, the Ferrari has a great braking power. But look, Kruger say, I'm going to insert myself, try to make up some positions. But Silva holds it for now. Khalid as well holding up P17 in his McLaren, who seem for now one of the most efficient cars to drive here at the Circuit of the Americas. We have to see also where Harris front Townsend in P6, Files in P8. Of course, we're still a long way to go, relatively, for this sprint. 16 minutes for race 1. Look at Copes. Putting pressure on Dan for third place in the Ferrari against the BMW. While Johnson at the same time trying to get closer and closer to the leader of the race. This, if really what should be about, this is what we like, this is what you like to see the fighter fight until the last meter, the last corner. And look at it. Oh, it's almost got off into the S. It's a Mercedes. I think it's one of the Hunt. It is Hunt who now lost the place. Also to Gunning, and re-enter ahead of Chris Gedman, who will try now to take the place with a struggling Hunt. Gedman up to his side on turn number 9. The Porsche, oh, and he gets him wide out of the black. And someone is not very happy about that. The Mercedes ahead. So Gedman up into P15, while a car already drive through for car number 161 is Blaise, who is far behind. While Hunter having some moments also with Silva, which Ferrari has a great braking power, but lacks severely in speed, both at top of the straights and I think also the exit of the corners. That's why Silva cannot make any progress, but he's risking to lose more places. He's to Kruger, who is still fighting behind. And look at Silva going a little bit wide, struggling. There's Ferrari showing the scars of the battle so far. And we not even reached the halfway point, ladies and gentlemen. Meanwhile, Johnson still keeping his trial to following Harris for the lead of the race. Let's just jump for a moment on board with the Porsche driver. On board with Johnson. 2 minutes and 8.8 for Johnson, who's now falling back a little. Victoria is well done, seemingly trying to recover the Porsche driver after getting rid of the Ferrari's tail behind of Coppens. So we see how this three will compare speed and consistency in the final stages of this sprint race. While ahead of us, Thijs is trying to catch Waster for 7th place. Van der Waal is very well back behind them, trying to make any possible room for an upgrade, for getting P8 or maybe even a P7 to try to score some points and stop and go. 30 seconds for Blazer. So he just got from bad to worse for Blazer. We have to serve his penalty shortly, very shortly. But look at Van der Waal. Look at Van der Waal already trying to make himself very visible in the Thijs' mirrors. While he, of course, keeps following Waster for P7. Behind the action doesn't stop. Behind the action does not stop. Look, Van der Waal up on this side. Oh, and he makes contact with Thijs. He has to bail out to let Thijs keep his position. That made Davis slow down. And that made, I think it was the nose. It is maybe someone was lapped. Oh! Bam! Back into the wall. He did not expect that mistake when Davis turned 13 and 14. And so Velvet with a huge damage to the body of his Ferrari had to bail out and is falling down the order. Of course, Ford Mustang is very powerful on the straights and is very stable, but of course, with the weight keeps it more difficult for the car to control when the tires eventually are not very well temperature or the right pressures. And that's what happened with Davis having a moment. Verret and no way to go, did not expect such a thing, and so Verret paid the price with a huge damage to his car. While now Graves try to make. I think Graves lost a place to Hogarty. Yes, he did lost a place. Oh, hey, wait, Johnson with a drive-through penalty for track limit. That's gonna blow up his hope for a podium right in race 1. And now Dan want to see an opportunity to try and make room. Because now you know Johnson won't be contending a victory now in race 1. Oh, and someone lost it. I think it's very come into the pits. While Blaze, of course, serving his penalty. Oh, and another one into the pits. And this seems like Silva. This looks like Silva. It is Silva. You see now Johnson comes to the pits to serve his drive-through penalty. And that leaves Dan alone to continue his pursuit of Harris at the lead of the race. Coppens gets up into P3. So it's now McLaren, BMW, Ferrari, then should be Mercedes. It is the McLaren in the top 5. While Johnson, who knows what has in his mind after taking the penalty in the latter stages of the race. Now he restarts, drive-through cleared, but of course he has lost so much time. Let's see, he's now just near and behind Haggerty. So it's P11 for Johnson, who he joins in the middle of the fight between Hogarty and Grease. Hogarty now up into the top 10. And this is for those who are behind Barrett and Lodevi have rejoined the track. Of course, this is good because a reminder, gentlemen, they did a sprint, the reverse grid for the race 2 counts only if you completed at least 75% of the racing laps of the leader in the winner of race 1. So if you not completed enough laps, it doesn't matter if you finish last, or if you retired, you start last at the back of the grid, even in race 2. And look at that. Look at that. And now following very closely Harris, who's now under real pressure for the BMW driver. Let's see now the gap between the Harris and Dan. It is only 4 tenths, but shall we remind you of the power and the speed that the M4 has on the straights, alongside his stability. And look, it's featured also on the braking. Look, he recovered, he's getting closer to Harris, but now here's one section. The BMW might not suit well. The S is the McLaren Harris might fly, especially in the second part. Let's see if Dan will keep the sight on the McLaren's rear. But look at this. We can see now that the McLaren having more stability. Oh, but he has blown the exit corner at turn 10. So this might present a chance for Dan, who is coming around the outside of Harris at turn 11, but it's not quite enough. Let's see if the old switcheroo might be the case. Might be it for Dan, who's now following Harris. A slipstream goes into the left. It's a battle of power and engine between the McLaren and the BMW. There should be no contact. Let's see if the braking zone, Harris can have a counter-attack to Dan at the braking zone. With Dan braking very much late, too much late, going outside the track. And so Harris keeps the lead. That was real tense between these two drivers who are ready engaging us in a training fight for first position, for the first victory of the season. Of course, it's still too early to decide which will be the protagonist in this season. But of course, we'll see what other surprises the Tier 2 of the Super Sprint Sunday Championship will bring us following the next 7 weeks that you will be joining with us. Oh, there's been a crash at the back. It's car number 31. I think it's Steve, who seemingly can't catch a break in the Nico 25-minute sprint. Well, Blazer has still yet to serve a stop and go and has decided to just park it there in the garage. Now Harrison Dan started the 10th lap of the race and calculated the time left on the clock. It will be 2 laps to go for everybody behind them. And look at this, Dan try everything he can, pushing hard in the S's to try to make up ground, to try again another attack on the McLaren. Ahead of them is the Ferrari of Backmarker. Let's see if the Ferrari will get out of the way. He does indeed get out of the way. There should be the Ferrari of Els. It is now P26. Dan still slide away, and another, and car number 686, Hunter with a mistake. No, it's not him, so who is it that just lost it? And it is Steve, it is Steve, who lost a couple of places and then lost again, just in the final laps of the race. It is Steve struggling to take it back. He also, I think he also smashed pretty heavily into the barriers. You see the damage on the front of the Aston Martin Vantage. Let's see if he can manage to at least cut it, to cross the checker flag. Well, look at that, coming real close. He has come close to Harris. This is a battle again for the lead in the final lap of the 25 minutes Nico Veldman sprint. Race 1 here at Cota. And look down with a gimmick. Trying with a false move to try to make Harris have a bad exit of the corner. Almost worked out, but there's not much room to try to make an overtake there. And now comes the SS. So then we have to wait a little bit longer. Now the SS is what matters most. And look at Harris flying through the SS. He does not want to concede any opportunities to the BMW driver behind him. So Harris trying to push his McLaren at his absolute limit. And seemingly it's working out. Now it's like a half a second gap. And that might be it, considering then that BMW cannot do very much in the twisty section after turn 12. Now let's see now in the 1.2 kilometer straight. If Dan can do something about it to try to stop Harris to winning the first race. Of course, he had his chance 2 laps ago, just here, but he braked too late and blew his chance by going off the track. Now, Harris has a chance to become the first winner of the Super Sprint Sunday season for Tier 2, reserved to AM drivers. Harris going for the inside, then try to carry much speed on the outside, but it does not working. And time is running up for Dan. I think the BMW driver, we have to settle up for second place, while Marshall has gone into contact, I think, for Koppes. Maybe some mistake. Koppes and let him through. Koppes and let him through. I think, no, it was another Ferrari, a back marker. But in the meantime, Owen Harris, after pole position, takes the checker flag to win the 25-minute Nico Veldman sprint here at Austin. First place for the McLaren driver, first victory of the season for him. Dan is second in the BMW. Koppes taking the last spot on the podium in third place. Fourth for Marshall, great job for him. 1000th, fifth place, and then sixth for Waster. Was stopped! Waster stopped! There was a problem, and that means Feist take sixth. And Van der Waal. No, Van der Waal is, I think it will happen something with him Heinz and Waster. So Van der Waal with an incredible comeback. P6 for the Dutchman, 5-7, Johnson 8, then Davis 9th, West, Haggerty, Canning, Gedman takes a P13, Kalin P14, and then we will have Kruger, Lemon, Kurkumelekis, Kelleher, Bennett, Benson, Warrior, Hunt, Spasic, Els, Vegat, Steve, Olegis, Silva, and then Relation, who, despite a stop-and-go penalty of 30 seconds, we got the checker flag in last place, so he will start on pole position for race 2. Let me tell you, that was quite some action for the drivers Super Sprint Sunday, and it's only Tier 2. I can imagine how things have gone wide in Tier 1. I just hope the practice was the right man. And of course, first comments from the drivers in the paddock. I'll say this is like driving a Group B ready car out here. It might as well be else, because of course now the track is gripping out, but of course then before that it was difficult, really difficult. Silva says having issues with my gear. Unfortunate from the Ferrari driver. Because Owen Harris complimenting Dunn and Johnson for the amazing battles. That's very, very fair play from him. We have to wait until the last car crossed the checker flag. Steve did not cross the checker flag. Don't know if he implies that he will not take part. He will not be taking part for the reverse grid or not. Of course, Blaze he cut the checker flag, so he's going to start on front for race 2. So, big round of applause for Owen Harris, the first race winner of the Super Sprint Saturday season in Tier 2. The second place, congratulations as well to Dan on the BMW, Matthew Dan. And then the third, Michael Coppens, Dutch driver, in the Ferrari. Of course, Jordan Marshall, the French Mercedes driver, in 4th place ahead of Dozen Thousand. Then Dutch favorite Van der Waal, P6 for the first race of the evening. Of course, we have so much still to come. Now, the result of the race 1. Then it will be a moment of break to allowing the FRL admins to reset the server, set up the grid for race 2. We'll be back shortly. But stay tuned, because the action is not over here at Austin.
Green light, show them what you got.
And we're back. Sorry for the wait. Of course, a lot of work going on the background. And remember, it's the first time ever for Formula Racing League that they have to set 2 reverse grid at the same time. So not quite easy on their part. But we're back. We're better at the Circuit of the Americas at Austin, Texas. We're back now to talking about racing. Only now 5 minutes for the driver to join the lobby, the server, and then eventually trying to start some laps, just a warm up. We see now Silva, who had some problems with the gear, with his wheel, so he's trying eventually to fix something. Hopefully it's all good from him. But of course, Jordan Marshall, 4th place in race 1, going of course to evaluate the track conditions and also get back in the groove, in the rhythm of things, for round race number 2, which will be the 45 minutes Gedman reverse grid race, reverse grid sprint. Race 2 of the first round of the Super Sprint Sunday concerning Tier 2 in Season 22. Of course, all the races are now joining. We now have 26. There's still somebody that has to come in the following minutes. Of course, this will be very, very important to see. Also because now Silva has joined the racetrack alongside Battison in the Lexus. This race, we see, of course, the reverse grid, 45 minutes, and we see a lot of action with overtakes, comebacks, battles, and so it will be real fun for all of you. And just a quick reminder, we can see a lot of winners here regarding the Super Sprint Sunday, a lot of race winners, but let's not forget that the championship is won by consistency, by the drivers who can very much get up from the starting grid, just to claim the most positions up. So it will be real good to see which one will be the best in doing so at the end of the season. Now we are in 30, it must be everyone, so all set. Of course, if you have something to say, if you want just want to say hi, you can totally come in. I mean, I don't expect much because it's too difficult. Most of you probably will be watching the Tier 1 live, same on the YouTube channel, so let's see where this will bring. Sorry also if sometimes I do not make myself clear. Of course, as you said, many drivers said before, it's not. It's just already not easy to do a commentary and to doing it the second language. After a long time, he gets used to do some time to get used to do some commentary in English. Of course, thank you for all your support and for support you do to me and to the Formula Racing League community. Of course, now we're all waiting for the moment where we see all the drivers, and here comes the rain, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, it wasn't necessary to bring the cars into the pit lane for pit stop, but I guess now they're all forced to, because we see now at least 5 to 10 minutes of rain, then the track will dry and will be then chaos for the pit stop in same condition I found Thursday in race 1 of the multi-class championship. So I know what they're talking about. In that case, because the rain will stop immediately, some drivers started with the slick tires, although it was not the best choice. Now I think everyone will go to the wet tires straight from the beginning, also because there's quite some rain falling down the circuit of the Americas. Yeah, and of course, on the Discord, the paddock chat says, RIP, rainy Cota, of course, and good luck, everyone. They sure need good luck to even survive the first lap in these rainy conditions. Of course, the good news is that it won't last long. So I think it was exciting. It went double, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see what this race do. The Gedman 45 minutes reverse grid sprint will deliver us in terms of spectacle, show, battles, drama, and overtakes here at Cota of Austin, Texas. Remember, round 1 of the Super Sprint Sunday Championship Tier 2 reserved to IM class drivers, which will field 30 drivers for the first round. The rain test did not work into Tier 1, but it did work in Tier 2 for anyone who was hoping for some rain, for some action. So that's how it is. Now 30 seconds signal. The cars are already revving up the engines.
20 seconds.
Reminder of the grid, which is the reverse grid reminder of race 1. So we have Silva on pole position. We already starting alongside on the front row. Steve, Veref, Elson, Sebastiak, Hunt, Warrior, Bettison, Barnett, Jack Barnett, rounding up the top 10. Then you can see then Coppens, Dunn, Harris, P27, P28, P29. Oh, and Silva, Elsa, Kruger did not make it time to make some changes, so they have to start from the pit lane. That's unfortunate, especially from Silva. So O'Leary will be starting from pole for race number 2. Steve Verget behind him. That's already a twist in what predicts to be an exciting race 2, the 45-minute Gedman reverse sprint of Austin, Texas. Will begin very shortly with O'Leary on pole on the McLaren, behind him Steve Aston Martin, Vergef, Ferrari, watch out also for the one behind who will try to make a comeback to take valuable points for the championship.
Green light, give it all you got.
And the green flag is shown, and we'll go for race number 2. Here at Austin, O'Leary has a clean start, but Steve trying already to pass him on the inside. O'Leary almost going wide. Now we have to watch who will come at the top for the S's. And it's Steve from the outside. Great maneuver by the Aston Martin driver who takes the lead over the race. Then Veref with an excellent start. Oh, and someone lost it. It's Barnett. Ford has lost it. And there's chaos. It's pure destruction here in the assets in the middle of the pack. Someone took Barnett. He sent his Mustang spinning. And then he ignited a reaction chain which I think wiped out 1/3 of the grid. No problems, however, on the ones on the front. Steve leading, Verf second, O'Leary in third place, Hunt fourth, Warrior fifth, Gedman in sixth, then Bettison seventh, Hegarty eighth, Kukum is in ninth. Then we'll see who is 10th after Barnett set the whole midfield grid into chaos. Now they arrive at the end of the second sector of the track. Steve Verf, Leary, Hans, Warrior, Gedman, Bettison, Hegarty, Coppens, and Dunn, ladies and gentlemen. Look at Dunn. Oh, and also overtook, I think it was Verf Ferrari. No, it was Coppens Ferrari. So Dunn makes 7th place from the back of the grid, already to P9. And that's class. That's class for the BMW driver. Was the victory. He really was the victory. And it's already made up already. Oh, and another mistake from the McLaren. I think it's Hegarty. And it is Hegarty who's also now fallen back a couple of places behind Johnson. So P12 for Hegarty, who made a mistake, of course. When it's about to rain, you have to keep yourself very careful, especially when we talk about curbs and how slippery they can be. Look at Steve, and I talked about curbs, and Steve just lost it. So Verf now is in the lead of the race. What I've told you, call it the commentator curse. Call it the commentator curse. I don't care. Poor Steve, who's now behind Bettison, so now dropped into P7. So, Verrev into the lead of the race, O'Leary second, Warrior third, Hunt fourth, Gedman with the fastest lap so far in fifth place, Bettison, Steve, Dan in eighth, Coppens in ninth, so great recovery also for the third place driver in race one, and Johnson the 10th. Let's see then Van der Waal, who has to, of course, evade all the dangers and the cautions of the mega accident at the first lap, and he's stuck in P23. I don't know if he reported some damages. I do not think so, but of course he lost some time there. But the one that maybe got affected the most, Marshall, who's now into the box and very surely out of contention for this race. Look at how hard to try to overtake. Warrior, he almost lost it, he almost went into the wall. He saved it, and rejoice ahead of Bettison, losing only a place. Chris Gedman, he's up into fourth. Now the rate is decreasing, but the drivers must keep alert. And look at Gedman almost almost blocking the rear tires, almost losing it on turn 19. He keeps it steady, but of course these are very, very difficult situations. When he stops race, we also have to see how much the track will spend to dry up, so that the drivers will pass to the slick tires. Now we see Steve trying to defend the Bettison, well done, around the outside of turn one with Bettison, lost it at the apex of turn one, but what a move from Dan, who moves now into 7th place. A great recovery so far for the second place race one. Dan, who now puts BMW on the pursuit of 7th place, held by Steve Hooper, lost it at the SS, so it's another place gained by Dan as Steve gets down to P7. But followed by Johnson. Well, what happened to Coppens? He's falling behind Bettison. So a lot of drama, a lot of twist. We're not even the first 10 minutes of the race. And of course, as Steve said, fellows died, I'm out. Such an unfortunate fate for Silver Race. And let's hope that we see you back for round number 2, which will be Red Bull Ring in a week. And look at it, Verrev leading the pack, seizing his opportunity as it stopped raining. Now it's humid, it's foggy, the track, so still very wet for wet tires, but we see how much until we can see a dry track. Warrior really going wide, he keeps it on the track, but it's not simple, while Chris Gedman has to deal with the return of Hunt to the Hunter. And Gedman goes wide at turn 19, Hunt sees his opportunity and takes 4th place back. Let's see if Gedman can prepare a counter-attack for the first corner. Let's see, but it seems like Hunt has the advantage, but goes a little bit wide onto the curbs, and that's not ideal at all. So Gedman takes 4th place back. The braking zone on turn 1 is very critical for the drivers now, as we have seen various times. It's just the first 8 minutes of the wet race. Look now who wants to join the party. Dan trying to make himself very, very big on the Mercedes mirrors of Hunt. While Hunt on the home, and he goes wide again. Hunt, so it's all easy lemon squeezy for Dan, who gets up into the top 5. A great comeback, a great racecraft by Dan. Now set his eyes on 4th place, owned by Gedman. Look at this, Dan seemingly really effective on the brakes in his M4 GT3. Look how easily he reaches Gedman in the Porsche. Now here's the tricky part, because you can see now a dark pattern on the track. That's the racing line that is becoming more and more drier, but the rest of the track is still very much wet. So where do you try and attack? Maybe only on the straights, because you have the chance to not lose the momentum, but other than that, it's risking of becoming more and more about being patient and waiting the right moment, which can be a mistake for the other opponent, or maybe even a pass on the straight. Look, someone go out of the racing line to try to cool-down their tires, otherwise they're going to get too hot and they're going to burn. And look on the outside out of Gedman. Of course, Gedman does not want to concede, but look as Hunter goes into the barriers. Dan with a marvelous overtake, fantastic, and now he's up into P4. A superb job by Dan, while Hunt, meanwhile, has gone to the barriers and has lost 2 places, almost free, while Haggerty made a move almost at turn number 7. But seriously, give it a round of applause for Dan. Overtake after overtake, he's storming past the grid, and he has the high sight on the top step of the podium. For now, Veref still leading, but with this done, how long until he reaches the fight he wants? Meanwhile, Hunter only now has lost the place to Haggerty, so P9, and behind him is Bleach in the Porsche. Oh, and look how it's difficult, especially for the Porsche drivers, I notice, to brake and not keep the rear tire steady and not to wobble to lose grip. That's really hard. We see first again, but now we saw on Bleach, especially on the streets. While Owen Harris, winner of race 1, for now in the P14, with Lemon passing fires ahead of him from P12. Of course, it will not be easy for Owen Harris or Michael Cooper so far, especially for Harris, who, remember, has got pole position and victory in race 1. And look at, Vice, Harris, and another one, I think Coppens, all decided, no, Coppens, yes, they all decided, okay, it's time to make the switch to the Zig tires. I think it might be a little bit too soon, don't know about you. Some drivers are now, look at Dan, really pushing through O'Leary on the outside of the edges, following the mistake of O'Leary, so he's up into the podium spot. Great job by Dan, absolute first class. Now he sees backmarker Ferrari, the number 405 of ours, who can catch a break. And Blaise lost it, he enjoys the track, and he's been collected by Greaves. I don't think Greaves could have done to avoid it. Just a small damage to the front of the car, but that gives them the chance to make up another place. And watch out also for Battison right behind us. Lemon on the inside of turn number 11, sorry. But Grips will now resist. But of course, Dan recovering much terrain on Warrior. Another yellow flag that is gunning, losing in the exit of turn 11. Gunning now has lost the place to Barney 1000, and we lost the place also to Coco Melikis in the green and black Porsche, BMW, sorry. Let's see what the leader will do now. It's all about the best timing to go into the pits. Verret continues, Warrior continues, Dan continues as well. We'll see which drivers will come into the pits. For now, I see no one yet. Steve comes into the pits. Of course, they trying to respond to the first move made by Owen Harris and Michael Coppens. Let's see how are they doing. Of course, they must struggle a lot in the first laps, but now as the sun might shine a little, some drivers might say, okay, this is the moment that we see also Hegarty, Lemon, Blaish, Battison and Gunning coming to the pits to make a switch to the slick tires. Now let's see, the sun is really out, the sun is really out, but it's not really too dry as we see Owen Harris having some struggle into the section 15, 16. So it's not really that dry. Right, Dan has already reached the Warrior. Dan has already reached the Warrior. Very for now is out of reach, but look at that. He almost flying past him in the straight like he's on a different category. That might be in a different category. See how quick he is in the wet conditions or the slippery ones for now, the mixed conditions. And so Dan moves up into second place. That's really well done by the BMW driver. Now we'll see if he continues his pursuit on this condition or with the rain he decide, nah, this is about the time to come to the pits, because now the server says conditions are slippery, not more humid, and so this might be the time. This might be the time to put the slick tires. Of course, now the sun shining to the Cota, and so Verker goes into the pits. I think Dan and Warrior will follow in shortly, and of course Dan comes into the pits. Warrior continues, so we will take probably momentarily the lead of the race, with Gedman following behind. The others are all coming to the pits. We all see where this will lead, considering now Owen Harris with slick tires has now just started now the long straight of 1.2 kilometers. Dan is now approaching to the final section, where Dan and the others are all going to the pits. Vergef has completed his transition to slick tires, only just behind him, and while Dan has made a long pit stop, compared to Verret or even O'Leary. So Vergef rejoins, should be still the next leader of the race. While now Dan just behind Stevens Aston Martin. So the racing order should be if I'm not mistaken, Warrior, Gedman, Weston, Townsend, and Van der Waal should still come to the pits for the transition to six tires. Don't know if Van der Waal made already the pit stop or not, but I should have first four should come to the pits very soon. Let's see Warrior, and he comes into the pits while Gedman stays out. At this point, I don't know if Gedman is simply trying to hold on as much as possible with the wet tires, because of course you see he tried to cool down his tires, or if just oppositely try to hope for rain again. Waste into the pits. Townsend continues. Let's see Van der Waal if he stops or he will continue. He continues at this point, just to let me be sure. And no, I don't think he made a stop. I don't think he made a pit stop. So at this point, we have Gedman, Townsend, Van der Waal still continuing without making a pit stop. At this point, or are they trying to resist until a new wave of rain, which sounds not probably. Or they started with the slick tires and spent the first 10 minutes struggling and losing many places before the situation could improve. OLR is now with the fastest lap of the race. As for now, for the ones that already served the pit stop, Verf is in the lead ahead of Warrior, of Dan, then O'Leary. Dan is really overtaken. O'Leary, then Hunt Harris now up into P10, so a very good move from him, maybe made a little bit too sooner, but he made him disengage from the midfield traffic. And sometimes that's what he cuts to try to pass the highest number of cars possible. Gedman says, I had enough, I cannot hold any much longer, so he decides, I'm coming to the pits. Let's see now Townsend. He continues. So it might be Townsend and Van der Waal, the ones where they started on the slick. Townsend, of course, having the greatest opportunity, while Van der Waal just got a little bit compromised by the racing accident on lap 1. Of course, in the meantime, the slick tires were getting a bit ruined on the wet condition. So, at this moment, the ranking should be Townsend first, Van der Waal second, Verre third, Warrior fourth, Steve fifth. Let's see where Chris Gedman will come back, as we see a white flag for someone in the SS who just got Gedman lapping a car just outside the pit lane exit. Gedman should be behind O'Leary, who's having a moment. So Gedman should be ahead of Harris. So P9 for Chris Gedman.
Halfway mark, still a long way to go.
Halfway mark of the Gedman. 45 minutes reverse grid sprint race number 2. with 1,000 leading by a huge margin on Van der Waal, then Verf in third place, Warrior in fourth place, Steve fifth, then Dan in P6, Oliver in P7, Hunt 8, Kelman in ninth, Harris running up the top 10 after winning race 1, but of course still a long way to go for race number 2 of this evening action of the Super Sprint Sunday season. And so, as we speak, we now go straight with the real protagonist of the first stint, Dan in the BMW, trying to pursue his podium spot. Now he's trying to gain on Steven Warrior, which they has automatic advantages as a P4 and P5. Let's jump on board with the BMW. Van der Waal in the pits, so he had rain tires and couldn't hold any longer. Warrior Steven P3 and P4, Van der Waal P5. "20 minutes until the end of race 2, and now Dan really getting closer and closer to Steve for 4th place, while Van der Waal has stopped now, and of course after the change of tires, I think he will take the opportunity to make repairs to this car. But of course, race compromise by one of the favorites at the beginning of the season. Meanwhile, Townsend still continuing his pursuit to a victory with a strategy so bold, but that is now working at perfection for the McLaren driver. We'll still have to see if he can manage to hold on to Verf, even if he a real long way back. Meanwhile, seeming like someone got lost. It is Johnson maybe with a problem. Johnson and Battison. Maybe that's what was the yellow flag was for. Johnson and Battison having an accident. And Johnson feeling guilty for the maneuver and slowed down to let Battison retake the position. And so Battison retakes P13. Very good gesture of sportsmanship by the Porsche driver. Now they can resume their battle alongside of Barrett and Kurkumelakis, sorry for the pronunciation, with Bennett holding Jeff Barnett holding up the Greek BMW for P13. Even though the damages of the hood of her Mustang are very important. Oh, and look behind Johnson again. Oh, Battison, another overtake. This time should be all good, all fair. And so Johnson got ahead of Benetton for P15. While between the Ford and BMW now will be a battle of power and speed on the straight between the M4 and the Mustang. But Barnett seemingly have the edge on Kokomelakis for now. But look at the brake. Look at the brake, how Kokomelakis recovers on the brake and the entry of the corner. Of course, the damages are way too much important for the Ford to try to bail out, to try to escape. But this might be a fun battle to watch. Well done after a mistake has set the fastest lap of the race. That is now ready to reignite his pursuit on Steve, while the Warrior is really closing on Verf for second place. We see now Warrior trying on the outside of Verf, trying to make a move on the Ferrari driver for second place. For now, the Ferrari driver resists, but at the straight, he might be a sitting duck compared to the Vantage, who's not a monster at the top speed, but is quite an engine. V8 might be on purpose, as he tries now to switch on Verf, but the Ferrari driver holds on Jochen Verf and keeps it ahead of Warrior for second place. All with Steve watching from behind. 15 minutes left to the end of the race. And meanwhile, Dan is starting to recover. Not behind. For anyone who's watching live or will watch later, write in the comments, write in the chat who's been the driver of the race so far, the driver of the day. Considering race 1 and race 2, I'm really intrigued to see which one deserves the honor for the first race day of the Super Sprint Sunday for Tier 2, because we see many getting on the top of our hearts, winning our hearts with some bold maneuvers, bold overtakes, exciting battles, or even genius tactics, genius strategies. For me, it has to be done because his pace in race 1, but also race 2 on the wet, was absolutely astonishing. He might be the driver of the day for me. Don't know if you agree. Remember, if you want, you can write it in the comments, write it in the chat. So how we know who is your favorite, who was the best in today's round at Austin. Back into the action. Warrior trying to pressure Verf into a mistake, but for now the Ferrari having none of it. Dan, look at it. Might put the shark music on it because it's getting closer and closer and closer to Steve. While look at Hunter getting the move done on O'Leary for P6. While look at Barnett and Kokomaris getting overtaken by Johnson. So Johnson moves up into P13. Great recovery by the Porsche driver, but now let's see if he can hold Jack Barnett's Mustang power on the straights. Look at him go on the straight. Johnson trying to defend on the inside. And look at Kokomaris who could be in the middle. And let's see, will be Barnett. Barnett holds on to Johnson and he takes P13. Another great battle with the Ford ahead of the pack, the midfield pack, but every point counts, so he might as well count even those battles. Johnson tries again, turn 16, but Jack Barnett holds on brilliantly and is ahead of Johnson. Amazing battle, by the way. Why, look at this. This is what we've been dreaming of. Battle for third place, the last step of the podium, with Warrior, Steve, and Dan. All close in less than a second. And they're all powerhouses on the straight with their Aston Martins and their BMW. So it might be a lot of fun, even there. Meanwhile, just watch it there. Oh, and Coco lost it on turn 1 with Bettison almost connected him, having to take a evasive maneuver to avoid him. But look now, let's see if Dan will manage to make a move. Oh, Steve, he does down the inside of turn 12, and Dan manages to clear the overtake. P4 for the BMW. And now he has his eyesight on the podium, head on by Warrior, who's now focusing on trying to catch back. That's real GT3 racing at its finest, ladies and gentlemen. Meanwhile, Barnett and Johnson are back again at square one, with Bettison following behind and holding Davis for P15. Oh, and Steve drive through for track limits. That hurts deeply his chances of getting a top 5 finish. Unlucky from him. And of course, the track limits danger is even more relevant, considering that from 20 minutes we passed for a 45 minutes rate, so they have to be careful of the track limits here at Austin. Meanwhile, behind them, Johnson overtook Barnett, so he took P13. While I think Davis made a slow exit to the corner. He cannot try to overtake Bettison. Battle for P15. And for now, Bettison seemingly having the advantage on his Lexus. Still close the fight for P2 and P3. Verif getting a little bit of an advantage on the Warrior, while Dan is still very much closer on the Aston Martin driver for a third place. 8 minutes and 20 seconds left to the race. Oh, and Warrior made a mistake and gone wide at the exit of turn 19. Let's see if Dan can manage to make his opportunity to try and move on the inside of Warrior. Not quite. It's still a little bit far. And look now. Warrior and Dan side by side. Warrior still ahead as they enter the SS of Austin. But look how Dan looks now much quicker, much confident at least than Warrior. And look at Dan. He's almost trying to lecture Warrior into a mistake. For now, it's not the case, but look, now Dan is going real aggressive for the Aston Martin defensive maneuvers. He goes into the curbs, not the optimal racing line, while Johnson, also he himself, has been hit with a drive-through penalty for track limits. But for now, Warrior seemingly holding on Dan, while Steve is serving now his drive-through penalty to make it drop a couple of places behind, maybe even outside the top 10. Nobody now seemingly able to reach Townsend, very far away. So his first place is seemingly out of reach for anybody. But still a lot of good fights for the podium places and also for the other places. Johnson also doing his start to, so Barnett up into P13. Look at this, Davis and Kokumenakis with the Greek seemingly ready to reignite the duel with a Ford Mustang for P15. Oh, look how close he is. But for now, nothing to do. While Dan seemingly misses something to try to make a clear move on Warrior, who's defending really excellent for now, while trying at the same time to approach Veref. So still all to play for second and third place on the podium of the 45-minute Gedman reverse grid sprint race here at Austin. And we're now in the last 2 laps as Townsend crosses the line now. Last 2 laps. So not much time left, everybody. Oh, Dan hitting the curbs at the exit of the turn 20. This hurts his run to the podium because now he lost a lot of ground to Warrior, who from the other side is holding brilliantly to try recover Veref, to try and catch on him for second place. Let's go on board on Warrior's Aston Martin. This might be the chance. This might be the chance for Warrior to try to make a move on Jordan Veref for second place. Veref covers up inside. Warrior goes up to the outside. Let's see who will get better. They both go wide into the curbs. Let's see, Warrior goes again this side, and he collides! He collides to Veref, and then goes up into second place. That's incredible, incredible. With Dan putting pressure on Warrior, and Warrior putting pressure on Beckett. Warrior made a mistake, colliding with Veref, and so Dan said, thank you very much. In an Italian say, this will be due piccioni con una fava, and so Dan makes himself up into second place as Townsend initiates his final lap of race 2. So Dan second, Beckett will hold on to third place, while Warrior is fourth, still behind him, still hot on his wheels, but not very close. So there might be another chance to even also he might risk a penalty, considering Veref lost the second place to an incredible Dan who might not have taken a victory, but 2 second places will do very, very good for the championship. So the BMW driver must certainly be proud after this virtual race day has done perfectly for him. Of course, we can say the same about, for example, Owen Harris, who made the call first for the conversion to the slick tires, but is now on the 8th, while Coppens is stuck in P26 alongside Van der Waal and many others who were given more credits in the pre-season. But after Harris, the spotlight will go to Townsend, who made a bold move, risking the slick tires, sticking them until the end. Even though now he's lost a lot of seconds from the second place, he has a great advantage to hold on to take his first victory of the season after Owen Harris. It will be another McLaren at the top here at Cota, and will be Townsend in the pink 720SS, who exits the final corner, crosses the checker flag, and takes the victory in race 2 at Austin. Fantastic driving by Townsend, but even more so, great recovery. A great round of applause for Dan. Another second place, and what way to take second place. Verret rounds up the podium ahead of Warrior. There will be fire between the two behind closed doors. Hunt takes 5th place, O'Leary 6th place, Chris Gelman, a big round of applause also to him, 7th place in his own sprint race, the Gedman 45 minutes race. Harris, after winning race 1, concludes race 2 in 8th. Greaves takes 9th, Steve rounds up the top 10. Then we have West, Barnett, Bettison, and all the others, while Barnett seemingly holds on to Bettison, Kurkumelakis, so will be Barnett P12, Bettison P13, Kurkumelakis P14 after a great battle between the 3 of them. Lemon will be P15, Davison 16, Fight P17, Gani P18, Johnson P19, Kruger P20. Then we have Haggerty, Spasniak, Marshall, Van der Waal, Else, Coppens, Khalid, and unfortunately Siva did not manage to end the race. These Townsend doing the outlap, finalizing, flashing the spotlights, knowing that he has won race 2 here at Austin, and a great first race day of the Super Sprint Sunday Season 22 Tier 2 Championship comes to an end with victory between Owen Harris and Townsend in the 2 races in America, but great performance also by Dan, who finishes 2nd in both races, claims a whole lot of points for the championship. So it will be really fun to see where this championship we have had 1 week till now at the next stop, Red Bull Ring, where we might see some new race winner, some new comebacks, some revenges. It will be all fun to see here at the spectacle here on the Formula Racing TV. So for tonight, it's all a very thank you to everyone who supported us, to Patreon, to all the supporters, and for everyone who watched us to the streaming on YouTube alongside Tier 1. Thank you also to Gordon Brown for putting his faith into me for the commentating of this season. Thank you to Chris Gemman, to everyone on Formula Racing TV. A big thank you, of course, to all of you watchers who watched us, who followed our live, and will certainly recover the streaming after the race to have some fun. I can't wait to see you back, to hear you back in a few days for the first round of the Taco Tuesday season. Of course, we start in 2 days, so don't miss it. And of course, we'll be back next Sunday at the Red Bull Ring, but from Austin. That's all for now. So I'm Andrea Matavelli, and I will giving you a very good evening to you all. Goodbye.